Three, two, one. We are live.
Hello. Good morning, good evening to all those who are watching our learning circle. And today we have got some great people with us. I'm going to introduce the panel members for today. I'm going to introduce Pepe Del Rio. He's our past president of the International Association of Coaching and also the founder of Empowerment Coaching, a professional coaching training institute. So, Pepe, over to you.
Oh, thank you, Sean. Um, and good morning to everyone, and good morning to the people that are just joining Facebook. They are starting to join. I was able right now to go to Facebook and see. So, good morning, everyone. And well, I am going to introduce today my good friend, Dr. Luis Gaviria, Coach Luis Gaviria. He's been in the IAC for a long time now, since I remember having conversations with him regarding the IAC around 2010, 2011. And he's the founder of Neuro Coaching Institute. And he's currently the vice president of the IAC. So welcome, Luis.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pepe. It's my pleasure to be here with you too. And it's my distinct pleasure to introduce a friend, a colleague, and after yesterday, a new doctor, Shan Murthy. Captain and Dr. Shan Murthy. By the way, is one of the first PhDs in coaching on planet Earth. And that is something to say. That is something to say. A great human being, and he's been in the coaching circuit for a long, long time. And he's been not only a coach, but also an international trainer, a facilitator, and a coach. And he's been spending his last 20 years training, facilitating in the Asian region, team development, performance coaching, and not only that, he is someone to look up in terms of wisdom, happiness, expression, and passion. And that's you, Shan.
Thank you. Thank you, Luis. Well, I'm sure. I mean, in my research, I also found there's a lot of people who actually have done some research work in coaching, people who have opened the pathway, and I'm very grateful for all of them. Now, when I first started going into the coaching world, I was wondering what coaching was all about and how coaching is going to look in the future. And today's theme is about coaching in the future. What's the future in coaching? Now, I would like to ask one of you, maybe starting with Pepe. Pepe, you were one of the pioneers who started to learn under Thomas Leonard. At the time that you joined coaching, and what you imagine coaching will be, and what you see now happening, is there any difference? What do you see in the future of coaching?
You know, I remember, first of all, thank you, Sean. I remember, and I have an anecdote on that. I remember I was learning coaching. I had been reading and taking some teleclasses and going through the first stage of when Coachville was open. And I remember I was taking some a certification, and one of the persons that was in the certification with me was a big shot of the HR world. And he told me, Pepe, and this must have been around 18 years ago, 17 years ago. He told me, Pepe, we're taking this certification very late. And I said, yes, why? And he said, because coaching, it's It's something that it's right in the trend right now, but it's going away. It's going to go away in a few years. So we are at the end of the wave. And I said, oh, really? And here I am 18 years after and 23 years after I first read something about coaching written by a guy that I didn't know who he was in that moment, called John Whitmore. And so I'm with more work than ever. And what I see, and I'm with more work than ever as a coach. And what I see in the future are actually two or three things. And it's not that I can see the future, but the way things are coming in the world, we will need more and more and more coaches. So this is one of the ways to prepare to be a better coach. It's not only going through the IAC certification process. That is a process that will give you excellent standard around the world, but it's also taking in consideration that there are two paths, very clear paths that I see. One is in the field that I am, it's more career coaching. People will need more coaches. People will need coaches. They are needing it right now because of COVID-19, but they will still need more coaches, more every time, not only in the personal round, but also in business, and entrepreneurs will be needing more and more coaching. And the second theme, it's something that we have discussed, and the second route also inside the companies, leadership has to do everything with coaching, taking the control era out and bringing the trust era in. That's what coaching is all about. That's the essence of coaching. How can we develop a world through trust and being more open, conscious about it?
Thank you, Pepe. Dr. Luis, your turn.
Uh, Thank you, Shan. Thank you, Pepe. Uh, I just realized that in about every meeting that I have with the corporate clients, that many of the problems that arise in a day-to-day operation come from communication, come from difficulties in getting together, trying to share a view, come from confrontation, come from hidden agendas. And to me, it's what we called many years back human relationships. It was also called soft skills. Many examples come to mind, but I can tell you this. The world needs more and more soft skills, meaning communication, conflict resolution, good coaching, objective clarification, the search of purpose, and strategies for us to come together and share a vision. And that's what coaching is all about. Coaching comes not like a panacea, not like a fix for everything, but a powerful toolbox to have people share more tools and possibilities to come together and start working together and stop the friction and start doing something meaningful. I believe coaching is here to stay. And I wonder, Shan, what is your view on this?
Well, what I see is, again, when I first started, then I felt that now, okay, is it going to be just like what Pepe was saying? Is it the current buzzword? Everybody going into, in the 80s and early 90s, you had the words like re-engineering and all this management buzzword. Is it going to be there? And then I saw people were getting into it. people were getting into it, and I see more schools coming up. People actually providing coaching, in our case, like masteries and all that. And then I was in a coaching conference 2 years back, and one of the keynote speakers, he said, if you think, you know, coaching is growing, he said, it's not even started to grow. So, and I said, wow, how is that? And then, it was all about, okay, we have to be, uh, let's talk about executive coaching. Is it only going to be for organization, for C-suite leaders? And then we realized, I realized, no, if it's such a wonderful tool, why don't we share it with everyone? And now
Mhm.
organizations are looking at managers as coaches, leaders as coaches. So what I see growing in the field of coaching would be just like I would agree with Pepe. Organizations are going to make coaching as one of the leadership competencies for leadership. I've been asked question, okay, what about mentoring and all that? I said that the tools for mentoring is coaching. And the three key words that in our International Association of Coaching definition is awareness, discovery, and growth. And that is going to be everywhere. And one of the recent uh, work that the IAC chapters are doing as well is doing community service,
Okay.
giving coaching tools for communities. And I see this happening all over.
Mhm.
So, and as you know, some of our chapters have provided coaching tools for the visually impaired. Uh, and for all of you, on the 28th of October, one of the IC chapters, the Penang chapter, is going to share about providing coaching tools for the Penang Deaf Association.
The Deaf Association.
Yeah, we were using sign language, and the IAC Masteries is currently available in Braille.
Mhm. Well,
So when yeah, yeah,
Sean,
Pepe, go.
no, that brings me to what something that Thomas Leonard used to say all the time. Coaching is for everyone,
Yeah,
and
and
it
one of
needs
the
to be
things that we
available
want to,
for everyone.
yeah, and that's what we want to do. We want to do, and we talked about this all the time, right? And we will say that every family needs to have a coach.
Yes.
Exactly.
Every family needs to have a coach, and that's how we can build strong families, strong community, and strong nations. And I think that's what we all have to do or continue doing. Yeah. So okay, let's talk about this. Do we really see? Now we all talk about coaching. Do we really see that the evidence in coaching, in your own experience? You want to start,
That
Pepe, and
that
then pass it to Louis?
yeah, that what I didn't hear the last part.
The evidence. The evidence. What are you looking? What do you experience? Your clients. What do they say? What do they
The
say about
evidence.
coaching?
Yeah.
Well, the best evidence I have that coaching works and that I do a good I do a good service is I get hired and I get I get recommendations. But I've had some experiences, especially in the manufacturing world, in the north of Mexico and south of the U.S., especially in the border between Tijuana and San Diego and California. And there's an organization that was trained with the masteries for all the leadership, all the leadership team. And in the human resources building, they even set an office for coaching. So they started to train, and I was able to participate in that process, training the leaders to be inner coaches in the organizations. And that organization is Parker. And when you go inside, and this was started like 5-6 years ago, and they are still carrying on and using coaching as a leadership tool. And it's not only right now the part of the organization, the leadership part of the organization, but also some supervisors and are giving even coaching to their leaders, and they're acting the role of coaches, and the leader that can be the boss of somebody else in the Parker community, gets coached from a supervisor and really gets coached. He doesn't get mentor, he doesn't get anything. He gets coached out of and they have very strict rules. There are 30-minute sessions, and they're using the mastery. So yes, it works, and it works. This is one experience I have with, but I mean, the best evidence that you have that coaching work is when you are working with a client and they get an enormous value, and they keep recommending you and hiring you. So this is some of the things that are, and actually I've been asking one of the leaders in Parker if we can document that so we can have it for our IAC community in the future.
Great. Luis, I see you smiling, Luis. So tell me more.
I believe that the best evidence that coaching works is me. Coaching works. I really started to have a turnaround in my way of dealing with life around coaching. I come from the clinical world. It's a very stern community where everyone speaks, the other listen. And it's science and almighty science. And there are discussions, sometimes very heated discussions on who's right, who's not right. And someone spoke at Harvard and such and such and such and such and such. And all of a sudden you see a clash of egos all around. People well meant that want to take good care of our clients, meaning our patients. And we end up entangled in these conversations that end up kind of hurting friendship and all that. And you come into the coaching crowd, and this is a totally different crowd where you are heard, you're listened to, you're valued, you are somehow surrounded, and together we do things. I'm not, I wouldn't like to trash at all my clinical associations, and that I'm not even going to name, and I appreciate being there. But it's in those associations, you're trying to cling in, they're trying to look brilliant and intelligent, otherwise you disappear. and in the IAC, to start with, I find a crowd of sensitive people, intelligent people, willing to work towards a nice end, towards a vision of bettering humanity as a whole. What can we do to better our families? What can we do to better our countries and society at large? And all of a sudden, it's like, oh boy, where am I? I mean, you're in the right place, Luis. That's what I felt. And one of the things, as an evidence of my own perception, is my personal transformation. My personal transformation. All of a sudden, I'm in the midst of people that I don't have to defend myself from. I'm surrounded by people who are present, who are there for me. Therefore, I'm invited to be there for them. All of a sudden, I feel as part of a family, an extended family. We at the IAC are a family, a family. People in the outside should see when we get together in one of those presential person-to-person gatherings every 2 years. We hug, we kiss, it's like I mean, it's when I had a dog, when my dogs, sometimes I walk out of the door when I had my dog and forgot something and came back and my dog was jumping all over the place as if he hasn't seen me like in 2 years. It was just 2 minutes. And to tell you the truth, it's a feeling that is so beautiful, because when I see the connection in our chats, in our everything, it's like my group, my family needs me. I'm there for them, and I need them. So this sense of companionship and community is unique to the coaching world, and most unique in the IAC. And it changed my view of the world. And we need this to be spread all over the place. We don't need more competition. We need more cooperation. We need to center and have our awareness sum and add and see what are the problems of Earth, and let's speak about it and let's come up with solutions. And for that, we need the right climate. We need to have the right, as Thomas Leonard would say, the right environment, an environment for success. And that is created mostly in the coaching world and with the approaches that we have. So that would be my take at this time. Thank you, Shan.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you, Nubin.
Sean,
Yeah.
can I comment something? I just went in to see the Facebook because we're speaking here, and I don't know if somebody's listening or not. And I just want to share this. Des Walsh is listening, and Des, I just want to. We're so glad. If you were speaking about a pioneer in coaching, well, there's Des Walsh, and somebody that knew and was very close to Thomas Leonard. And Des, I hug you from Mexico, so it's wonderful to have you here. And there's also a lot of people, and you see, I'm reading. I'm just going up into some of the things that were written. Oh, Cicero Carvalho is asking, where's Terry? Well, Terry had a personal issue and he couldn't be here today. And Des was also commenting, and I think I said this also, Thomas Leonard Vision, coachings for everyone, Denise Pang. There's a lot of people also from Spanish speaking world, Jose Lara Portal, etc. There's a lot of people watching us. So Des, a big hug for you, my friend.
Yeah, and I had the pleasure of meeting him at the Sri Lankan conference and having breakfast with him in Brisbane. And looking at coaching is going to be everywhere. I see coaching. There will be a group of people who are going to be really, really certified master coaches to do that very hard professional job, right? But what I see with what we are doing is to create coaching community of practice everywhere in the communities. And we are beginning to make milestones in the education sector. And I don't know now, but I just like to bring out that one of the universities here in Malaysia, Associate Professor Yusliza and Dr. Zikri, they just gave me a call like about half an hour before this call. They are now having conversation with the vice chancellor of the university to create a room for the IAC coaching chapter in the university. And they're exploring how, and they're going to, they are certified coaches, and they want to bring this to every student. So every student to have coaching conversations in the university. This, I think, is going to be wonderful to bring the future leaders of the world in all institutions, all higher institution of higher learning to, to get this wonderful mastery. And I like what you said. It's not about competition. It's not about who is good or who is bad. It's not about whose certification is good or whose certification is not bad. No, for me, the evidence in me is me myself. Coming from a military family, being a military officer, and then commanding my family didn't work.
Sure.
Didn't work.
I don't think so, man.
I actually had better conversation with my children after I embraced coaching. So this is what I feel the future is going to be. Families are going to have better conversation using coaching. We are, all the conflict is because we take things for granted and we have got different mental picture. Good for me might not be, my good is different from Pepe's good or your good, Luis. And especially if we are talking to our children, young adults. So, and I used to judge. Oh, I know everything because I'm older than you. Well, it's not going to work. It did not work for me anyway. So I think coaching is going to go into, it's going to spread like a good virus everywhere. That's where I see coaching. And all our chapters who are going to create community of practice, whether you want to go to the mastery coach or, no. It's going to be a home where people are going to share the coaching knowledge and skills and the values so that they can be better, human beings and add value to others and give meaning to others. And I think that's where coaching is going to go,
And I think,
yeah.
Go. No. With what you were saying, the work that it's been done right now in the IAC through chapters all around the world, working with coaches, with communities, starting to work with different, that embodies what Thomas Leonard wanted of coaching is for everyone. And we need to go to the basis. What I like about coaching, it's the human touch that coaching brings.
Yes.
The familiarity that coaching brings. Because you are actually speaking with somebody, creating the future, creating a better world, creating better possibilities. I will say in the masteries, inviting new possibilities to emerge, and maybe to take some, to have the trust to do things that in other ways you wouldn't do it. We need our planet, the world, the humanity needs better human beings that can really go beyond what we are currently doing. And I believe that coaching is a fantastic tool for this. And the masteries are just in there like a framework that you can go and you can touch and you can have a human connection. It will be a world, yes, maybe right now we're going through the revolution 4.0, and maybe we are in a very near future, we will be in the 5.0 revolution, where we will be able to see maybe some machines walking and things like that, but the human touch, that part will never go away. And we can say, I was in Malaysia with you 2 years ago, and I heard a presentation saying, oh, forget about some things regarding in coaching, because the machines will be able to do it. They will be able to match what the other person does. Maybe in some areas, but the machine without that human touch, without that the human error, that thing that the humans bring to the table, and to be able to have a conversation in that can only be done through human contact, and coaching. It's a wonderful tool to do it.
Thank you,
I
Pepe.
would like
Thank
to
you,
say
Pepe.
something,
And
if you
Luis,
don't mind.
Luis, before you start this, Luis, I
Yes.
want to ask you. You are the brain doctor. You
Yeah.
know what happens in our brains, right? So tell us what can machine do, what can our brains do? Tell us about that.
I will answer that, Shan. But in the first place, I would like to celebrate. Gratitude is one of the most powerful powers, if I may, or force. Gratitude is so powerful because it really shapes our brains and the way we see life. And I would like to celebrate the presence of many people in this chat. I went ahead, and I don't know how to pronounce their names. I apologize for my poor pronunciation, but I see Leonor Quiñones. That's a good one. That's from Mexico. Hello, Leonor. Aishat Rukusana, Alex Cooney, Des Walsh. Des, all the blessings. Thank you for being here around. We appreciate you so much. Cicero Carvalho, Denise Pang, Grace Shan. Grace, hello. All the grace for you. Sharon Delgado, Daniel Gonzaga, Denise Pang again. And there is also, hold on, Gonzalo de la Canal. We also have Alice Khalid, Daniel Gonzaga, Yusnita, I lost that one. Alizi Khalid again. Zainal Ahmad, Dr. Zainal, so good to have you here on board. And Tim Hawks, and so many. I appreciate you being with us today. And going back, I'm sorry I didn't name all the names.
And you know, Luis, almost and everybody that you were mentioning, that's the IAC family.
That's the IAC family. So here is the deal. Here is the deal, my friends. Our brains are designed, okay, to interconnect. Our social brain. Our brain is totally social. Our brain enhances itself by the interaction with other people. We need other people in order to get stronger, get wiser, more intelligent, more connected, more compassionate. It's like we live in this gigantic gym. We have this gigantic gym. We have relationships. We create our lives, and our brain is plasticity. And the plasticity of the brain, the possibility of the brain to be changed and enhanced, comes from relationships. That's the number one thing. When we are under very much stress, when we are under duress, when we are in this survival mode, when we are upset, when we are angry, when we are stressed out, our capacity to interact and connect with the rest of the people is diminished. And we start to live biologically for ourselves. It's like I'm stressed out, I spread it all over, but I'm by myself in life. When I can overcome somehow my survival mode and start to connect and see life under the light of compassion and say, hey, I have pain in my heart. Maybe I'm hurting financially or hurting in my relationships, but when I reach out and connect to other people, also my brain starts to work properly in a better fashion and to see possibilities. There is one thing that happened to us recently. Well, I do a lot of health coaching myself since I retired from my clinical practice. But I'm a consultant and coach for various large corporations. One of them, just by the very fact of having managers and supervisors spending more time presently in the field, not even coaching sometimes, just go away, go out of that office, connect with people, let them know that you are there for them. We had a drop from 41 incidents, incapacitating incidents in 1 year, 41 to 1 incident in 1 year. And we're talking about a plant that holds more than 4,000 employees. I mean, this is huge. And what was that? Presence. Be there for them, which is totally necessary. Well, it was very simple. It's a process in which we are teaching supervisors, engineers, and all of those how to connect properly with people. And the first step was be there. Be there. Process in the present. Let them know that you are there for them. And the magic happens. It's powerful. We need each other. Our brains really thrive in the midst of communication and looking at each other and sharing our feelings, sharing our position, sharing our views of the world, and trying to do something meaningful. So that's how our brains are shaped, by the way, by relationships.
Wow. So yeah, I've been hearing a lot. In fact, we had a presentation in our conference where we talked about how robots, going to take over coaching and all that. I think good, but again, listening to you, Luis, I think it'll take, I don't know, a long time for them to catch up with us. I think that like we always say that human beings have got, they are tripartite human beings. We got the behavior, the body and the mind and the spirit, and I think something that the machine can be at. But I personally would say that it's good that people are going into research, producing all this, using AI for coaching and all that. It's just going to make coaching fun.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the human touch. I always talk about we can be as high tech as we want, but we need the high touch as well. Because I believe only when a human to human connect and we are totally present, healing takes place.
Yes.
And I've had experiences where in a coaching session, the person don't even have to achieve or have an action plan. Just by talking to us, healing takes place. And now I'm wondering, the future, again, reminded about these two words in our IAC masteries, change versus transformation. When we talk about change, it's focusing, our point of focus is the past. But we say in our masteries, it's about transformation. So our focus in the future. We can't change the past, but let's respect the past. Yes. Have it there, understand, and leave it alone, but focusing on the future. And that's where coaching will take us. And when we talk about the future, focusing on the future, it gives us hope that things can be done. And my experience in giving talks to leaders during the COVID-19 period, talking to leaders, how can they lead during this COVID-19? And for me is, again, bringing back the IAC's definition. Look, awareness, meaning what? Accept the fact. Once you accept and you start discovering step by step for growth, that itself will give you the sense that, hey, you know what? We are going to overcome this. You know what? We are going to go forward. You know what? I have got my fellow brothers and sisters around me. And that's what, Luis, what you said just now, our brains connect and we need that connection and relationship. We are not alone. We are not alone. And that's what we are saying. The IAC is like a family, yes. Whatever time. And I remember, disturbing Pepe when he was sleeping, and talking in his odd hours, and we all are from, and for all those who are viewing, I would like to also mention we got David from Taiwan who's at the background, Julian who's our head of membership, all working from behind, and we got a whole family behind us, and only these 3 people talking here, but it's a big group behind, yes, supporting us. So again, the future of coaching. What you think? What new thing, new things that you think will come about in the coaching world? Pepe.
You know, I want to highlight something that that Daniel Gonzaga, that it's listening to us, wrote. And he said, imagine if every teacher is a coach, imagine the world we can create. And he's right. You know, we have the COVID experience right now. And, and this is something that touches us everywhere. In the US, 2 or 3 days ago, got into they have, at this moment, 200,000 people have died of COVID. In Mexico, we have more than 72,000 people officially that have died of COVID. We think the number is higher. Brazil has a number very close to Mexico. And we're speaking of 3 big, and of course, Canada has done a better job there. I don't know the numbers there. But one of the things that people have been struggling, mothers with their small kids, with their kids at home, they need to work, and the parents need to work, but at the same time, they need to help or give assistance to their kids to be able to attend classes through Zoom. And the teachers, almost no teacher was, how can I say it, good giving classes at a distance. And coaching is a fantastic way of bringing the people up. I remember, like, Geronimo, my son, he has been studying 2 careers in the university, and actually he receives his diploma today of well, I have the name in Spanish. I will translate it. Help me, Luis. Derechos Humanos.
Human rights.
Yeah, human rights. He's going to become a bachelor in human rights, one of the majors he's doing. And I remember when he was in high school, I used to tell him, Geronimo, how was school? And he said, oh, you know, the same old thing. Nothing that I would have not learned in Google. But if you want to send me to school, I have a lot of fun with my friends, so keep sending me. but actually, he was saying something very right. The way we educate, the way the school approaches needs to change. And COVID, it's a fantastic place to start and to provoke that transformation that needs to happen. And that transformation needs to happen not from the control area that the schools, the factories, the jail system, everything, it's under that control area. It needs to come from the heart. It needs to come from the connection. It needs to come from the trust. So when you said you need to be present, yes, and you need to know how to process in the present so you can use your mind, your emotions, your body as a fantastic tool to take decisions. Your body is never wrong, and have the spiritual part of that connection in place. When you are able to process in the present, you are able to do that. And I totally agree with Daniel Gonzaga when he says, imagine a world where teachers are coaches. And I think that's also one of the things we will be seeing in the near future. I don't think the world will go to how it was in the past. We've seen that many ways were done, and we need to find better paths.
Luis, thank you, Pepe. Thank you for, I got something for teachers as coaches. And yes, Luis, what do you think? Some things going to come up?
I have just one answer for Danielle. Danielle, that is already happening.
Yeah.
That is already happening. And let me tell you how. One of my grandchildren, Martina Gaviria, she's 10. She was attending a good school in Colombia, a good school, person to person and all that. And the pandemics broke. And then that school wasn't ready to go full-fledged into Zoom meetings and classes, but they would send all kinds of homework, and my son's life was getting entangled and difficult. And listen to this one. There was another school in another part of the country that is founded, and also the principal is a professional coach. Ana Yasmin Rodriguez is the principal of a school, is a elementary, middle, and high school private school in Colombia. And she asked for some help from our side, and we helped her put together all the process. In 24 hours, she had 28 rooms with Zoom and with coaching approaches and interactions. My grandchild was transferred to this school. She was not happy in the other school. Now she thrives, she's happy, she's recognized, she's becoming more and more a leader, and this is happening. We also have this, how to call it? We have classes for 10-year-olds about coaching and neuroscience. And coaching is making a big difference in the way they communicate with their parents. That is going on as we speak right now. We are making it possible for teachers and for students from the very beginning in their lives to come to terms with coaching, to start learning the basics, and to really enjoy this way of thinking and feeling that coaching brings. Yes, Shan, you had a question, a specific one?
Yeah. So let me answer this. What can we do as an IAC family to bring the masteries to all the teachers? Now, let me share with you what we have done.
Yes.
As a chapter, we did a pro bono. We trained two secondary schools. We trained the teachers to have coaching skills so that they can use coaching in their teaching, and also having conversation with their students. That's one. As IAC chapter, we continuously want to promote that. In fact, in our international coaching conference, Kuala Lumpur, last year, we had this principal of the international school mentioned that she has trained her teachers to use coaching, and they are also using IAC masteries. And the teachers are using coaching to teach science subjects.
Yes.
And they are also sharing the coaching tool with students. And what's happening is they have a board. Who are the people who wants coaching, and who are the people who wants to provide coaching? So they match them up and they have coaching conversations. So we don't have to, in the future, coaching conversation will go on, not as a formal, I said, you're my coachee, and then let's do the coaching thingy. No, it will be happening everywhere, informally and formally. University Malaysia Terengganu, currently, again, Dr. Yusliza and Dr. Zikri, they are doing a research project. We have trained the coaches from the universities, the professors and lecturers. They are coaching high school students. And currently, they are doing research on it. What is the impact? And we will be sharing this as an IAC at the university and the IAC project. We have got a lot of research that going on now. So as IAC chapters, I would suggest offer your services to schools to provide this tool to the teachers. And currently, there's another young coach from, she's IAC MP as well, Saras. She's just last week, She's started a initiative, got all our IAC coaches together who wants to volunteer, and got in touch with the State Ministry of Education, State Education Department, to provide these skills to school teachers. So this, I think, is a start as a service to the community, and that's what that's what I feel that the IAC are really doing. We want to serve the community by providing the masteries, which is a wonderful tool for for the good for everybody. And I also see in the future, let's not just focus on one-to-one coaching. In organizations right now, team coaching is getting popular. You go in as a coach and coach a team to bring them forward using the same wonderful, beautiful masteries.
Yes.
And that is becoming very, very popular, team coaching.
Yeah.
So that's where I see the future is going. Yeah. Pepe, you want to say something?
No, just highlight what you're saying and what Luis is saying regarding it's nice to see that there are some examples of that coaching is growing, especially with some in some areas and in some schools. We need to expand that, and a way to expand it is what you were saying, Sean, and that brings me to the vision of the IAC, that it's advanced the profession of coaching to the highest standards of universal excellence. People need to reset their minds. And these are times, as we were speaking, to connect with each other. And well, the philosophy of IAC is to respond and to evolve all the needs of professional coaching. So here's a place. And the way to do it, as you correctly said at the beginning of the call, is through our chapters. But not only through our chapters. Go if you're not part of one of our IAC chapters, join our chapter. Start a chapter in your community. Start a chapter where you are, and
Yes.
and develop all this, because that's the way of growing coaching. That's the way of having more presence, and that's the way of changing the world one conversation at a time.
Thank you,
I'd
Pepe.
like to say something there. Rocio was talking about we need, hold on, Rocio from Mexico. She was talking about that parents need also to be part of that conversation in coaching. Rocio, that is true. We are doing that as we speak. We have parenting school at a couple schools where we are teaching the basics through the masteries. And we are going to increase that not only at the end of the year, but this coming year, we're going to be calling on more schools in Spanish. We have a program for that in Spanish, and we will do that from the IAC. And I'm personally interested. I have a personal interest from my very heart, because I have grandchildren and I want to see my grandchildren growing in a better world, and coaching can really add to the process. So that is something that we need to work on. And the chapter thing, I believe, is listen to this. When I came into the coaching world, it was an elite thing. It was an elite thing for elite thinkers, for elite organizations, for those who could afford the training, for those such and such and such. It's about time we bring it down to reality. And reality starts with our children and our homes. And we need to teach parents how to bring the masteries, the 9 IAC masteries, to day-to-day conversations at home and then at school, and start bringing this thing from the bottom up as it should have been from the very beginning. That's my take on that one.
Thank you, Luis. We got 5 minutes to go. And imagine this scenario. We as parents, we are using coaching conversation. What's happening in my family right now? And at times we have coaching conversations in the family. Now, guess what? The next, our children will be following us. they will be having conversation with their friends using coaching conversation because they feel good, they feel not judged when we talk to them. They're going to start using this among their friends. They don't have to be a certified coach, but the conversation, and guess what? The ripple effect, only God knows where it's going to end.
Yes.
And that's why we need to have that spark somewhere.
Yes.
And we, as the members of the IAC, we are the catalyst.
Yes.
I invite all of you, and you see, this is a learning cycle. I invite you to send us emails to Julian, the membership, whoever, and especially Julian, who's doing great job in creating these conversations. So tell us what you want. Tell us,
Exactly.
what you want us to do. And we are all volunteers, and we are more than happy to serve you. And the IAC is about serving the coaching community.
Yes.
Wherever you are, whether you're that coach or wherever you are, like sometimes people call me, I was disruptive in the coaching arena because I said, no, you do, last time only if you have a degree in the university, you can start enrolling yourself in a coaching program. I said, no way. If you have the heart and passion to serve, that is the first qualification to become a coach.
Exactly.
Gentlemen, I would like to thank you. Yeah.
Sean, just something, because sometimes we think we need to go outside and start coaching outside. What you were saying, it's true. We need to start inside our house. This has been a time where unfortunately the violence inside the house has increased worldwide, and this is a time to use coaching. And the best place to use it with, if you are a parent, use it with your kids. If you are I remember Lourdes, my smallest one, that's now 20 years old. She's flying to Madrid today. She will be living in Madrid starting, but she was around 9, 10, 11 years. And one day I heard her having a conversation with one of her friends, and I told her, "What are you doing?" And she said, "Oh, I'm giving her coaching." And she was playing to be a coach. But when you are able to bring coaching conversations in your own house, you don't have to go outside. Start from where it matters, and it matters.
Yes.
Thank you.
It goes from inside out.
Thank you, Pepe. 10 seconds, 20 seconds. We'll end this call now. It's coming to our last 1 minute. Anything as a closure? Do you want to say anything before I close the session?
No. Thank you.
Luis?
Thank you everyone for being here.
Let's start with our families. Let's bring everyone just a little mind map with the 9 masteries and start sending it away and have people see it and start trying to ask questions, what it's all about. Let's bring this to our homes, to our family life, and then to education from K to 12, and we're going to make a real revolution for the coming world.
Thank you, Luis. And for me, family first, husband and wife start coaching each other, having coaching conversation, spouses, partners, and the family start having coaching conversation. That is going to determine the future. Coaching is not all about the formal coaching. It's all about having meaningful conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, meaningful conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, we're going to close the session. But before that, I was asked to make this announcement. Look out for 28 October, and we're going to talk about the Penang, IAC Penang chapter is going to talk about how the experience of giving coaching skills to the members of the Penang Deaf Association, those who are with hearing impact. And from the 7th to the 11th December, we're going to have the core awardees, our traditional end of the year coaching webinars. And the title for the core award, the theme for the core awardees this year is Coaching with Hope Through Chaos. And that's, that is the initiative will be led by my good friend Luis Gaviria. He'll be leading that COVIDis initiative. Yeah. And it will be in 3 languages. The official IAC language for the moment: English, Spanish, and Chinese. And please follow us on our Instagram, IAC Global World, IAC Global World, and our LinkedIn, International Association of Coaching. And again, ladies and gentlemen, tell us how we can serve you better. With that, thank you, bless you, wherever you are in the world. Thank you, Pepe. Thank you, Luis. Thank you,
Thank
Julian.
you.
Thank you, David.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you all. Thank you. Bye.